After seeing this betrayal, sad, disappointed, can't even put it to words, I want to take a moment to honor Samiuso's great work in the Bloodline. He will forever be missed and live in our hearts. One day we will celebrate Samiuso as the certified usologist, the one who called Logan Paul a giant number 2. Like the legends, Samiuso is now under the protection of Goldberg. Back to the subject. So after Sami's fallout with the Bloodline, we don't know if Jay will still be with them, and we can be 102% sure that Sami is not going back. And now with Papa H set to go with Cody facing Roman at WrestleMania, this left a 2 months period for Sami to continue his momentum being the most overt wrestler. In fact, he challenged Roman Reigns to a title match at Elimination Chamber on this SmackDown. Now I don't think it should be about the championship. I don't know why Papa H makes it about the championship when they are already promoting Cody vs Roman. Plus, it just doesn't make sense to me that Sami would challenge for the championship. Like, I know he wants to beat up Roman, but why does he focus on the championship? No reason whatsoever. I know Sami helped the Bloodline a lot, but like, why? Come on. But no, it's fine. It's great. But I just don't think it does Sami justice. With the amount of work he put in and how great his work has been, I want the payoff to be at a bigger stage or a bigger stake. With Cody announcing his intention to go after Roman, we can 99% be sure that Sami will never win the championships before WrestleMania. Sami vs Cody? Does anyone want to see that now when Sami is a babyface and feuding with the Bloodline? So in this video, once again, I will be telling another made-up story that I wrote, which will introduce Ultra God Mode Roman, who will further dominate WWE up to Elimination Chamber and make Cody face an even bigger challenge at WrestleMania. Again, this video and story is purely made up by me for entertainment purpose. Just something I wrote which has nothing to do with WWE. So don't take it too seriously, let's just have some fun and that's it. With that out of the way, let's begin. First of all, I would like to call this series Alternate Kayfabe. I know I'm not good with names, but this is the best I can come up with so far, so bear with me. In this series, I will be presenting made up stories that I come up with regarding the current WWE landscape and imagine how I will run the stories. Like the first video I posted regarding how Samizayn becoming the biggest babyface at this year's WrestleMania. So in this video, I will cover the war between Sami, Kevinowens and the Bloodline, the rise of Ultra God Mode Roman Reigns and the downfall of the Bloodline. Maybe cover the Cody era if I have the time. So enjoy. After the fallout at Royal Rumble, Roman and the Bloodline still haven't heard from Jay on SmackDown. A week has passed. We are on SmackDown once again. Paul Heyman is worried. Roman furiously orders him to bring Jay to him. Paul explains to Roman that Jay didn't reply to any of his texts and calls. Roman is pissed.
Really? Right now? When Strowman and Ricochet come for the titles? And he decides to just disappear?
You know what? Fine. He doesn't want to answer to you. I'll do it. Roman leaves his locker room, leaving Paul, Solo, and Jimmy startled. Paul tells Solo and Jimmy to go to Jay's place. On the other hand, we see Sami reconcile with Kevin. Despite months of quarrel, Kevin embraces Sami and the former best friend, now friends once again. We're gonna take them down. The Bloodline, all of them. Kevin tells Sami with rage in his eyes. Kevin, there's something I need to tell you. Kevin is confused. Then Kevin sees someone approaching them. He is shocked. In the ring, Roman makes his entrance and stands before the people. He calls out Jay, telling him that if he doesn't show up by the end of the night for the championship match, then he has no use in the Bloodline anymore. We hear Sami's music hits. Sami comes down to the ramp, standing in front of Roman with rage and frustration. Whoa, Samizayn, what are you doing here? "Who do you think you are interrupting me?" Sami doesn't say a word. Kevin Owens' music hits. Kevin Owens comes to the ring from the timekeeper's area with a steel chair in hand. Sami gets a steel chair from beneath the ring as well. Roman is tired of all this. He drops the mic, ready to face the two best friends who surrounds the ring, ready to strike. After a brief standoff, Kevin and Sami gets into the ring. Roman takes out Kevin with a Superman punch. Sami capitalizes on the opening and hits Roman with the chair. Roman sits at the corner, asking Sami to not do this. Sami yells at Roman, telling Roman that he is the one who did wrong. Paul quickly brings out Jimmy and Solo to save his tribal chief. Sami and Kevin try to fend them off, but with Roman, the Bloodline quickly overwhelms the two best friends. Roman picks up the chair and yells at Sami, telling him that he runs WWE. With Roman raising the chair up high, ready to strike down on Sami, Cody's music hits. He comes down to the ring and equals the number. Solo and Jimmy are taken out by Sami and Kevin. Cody takes down Roman and started to beat him out. Solo and Jimmy quickly drags out Roman from the ring. The Bloodline retreats from the three wrestlers in the ring. Sami stands tall. Back in the locker room, Paul is scared as he has yet to find Jay, and Roman is furious. Jimmy is starting to worry about the championship match later that night. We hear someone knocking on the door. Solo opens it, and it's Adam Pearce. He walks in, respectfully asks the Bloodline the whereabouts of Jay. Jimmy is frustrated. He yells at Adam, tells him to get out. Roman just quietly sits on the couch. Adam informs Jimmy that if Jay doesn't show up, they will have to relinquish the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Jimmy is angry and ready to put his hand on Adam. Paul orders Solo to stop Jimmy and tries to convince Adam to postpone the match. Adam says it would be difficult as he doesn't think Braun and Ricochet would like that. Solo steps up and volunteers to sub in for Jay. Paul and Jimmy are delighted with the idea, but when Adam is about to make it official, Roman stops him. He tells Adam that he himself will be defending the titles with Jimmy. Solo tries to explain that he is ready to do this for the Bloodline, but Roman just stares at him. Paul hints at Solo to let it go. Adam follows the order and makes it official. The main event of the night will be Jimmy and Roman defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Braun and Ricochet. Solo is not pleased. At the main event, we see the champions battling out with the challengers. Solo and Paul are looking out from the ringside. Solo is clearly disappointed for not having the chance to be a champion. The match is another banger, with Braun and Ricochet working in sync as a tag team, totally in control during the match. It is obvious that Jimmy's head is not clear without Jay at his side, and Roman notices this. He finds an opening, tags himself in, and single-handedly turns the tide for the Bloodline. He yells at Jimmy for not focusing on the match. Just when Roman stands at the corner and is about to deliver the spear to Ricochet, the Usos' music hits. The Bloodline is shocked to see Jay walking out from the entrance. Jimmy jumps down from ringside, ready to confront his brother, but suddenly Sami, KO, and Cody jumps on him and Solo through the crowd. Roman screams at Jay, telling him that he is out of the family. He turns around and meets a giant splash from Braun. Ricochet looking to deliver the shooting star press, but misses. Roman got out of the way. A Superman punch to Braun, leaving Ricochet alone in the ring, and spear to Ricochet. Angry Roman single-handedly defeated the challenger and added another title to his status. He is now in Ultra God mode. WWE Champion, Universal Champion, and one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champion. He takes the titles and runs away through the crowd with the Bloodline. Sami, KO, and Cody stand tall in the ring. Sami takes a mic and tells Roman that their match at Elimination Chamber will be a no disqualification match. Roman loves the idea. He poses with two titles on his hand and one around his waist. but his eyes are all over Jay. Jay gets into the ring. He comes face to face with Sami. KO and Cody are clueless to where Jay's allegiance lies. Sami tells them it's okay. Sami tries to embrace Jay, but Jay refuses. He cries and tells Sami that he will not stop him from getting revenge from Roman, but he cannot be a part of it. Sami will always be his friend, but the bloodline is his family. Sami understands. They hug, then Jay leaves, leaving Sami, KO, and Cody in the ring. Cody shakes hands with Sami and KO, then leaves the two best friends. He helped them to start the warpath towards the bloodline, and now it is up to them to finish their own business. At Elimination Chamber, before the match, Cody finds Sami and KO.
Roman is the best there is now.
You will need to be at your absolute best if you want to beat him. Good luck. Cody wishes him luck and leaves. Kevin tells Sami, "It's us against the world again. If the bloodline shows up, I got your back. Wouldn't want anyone else." On the other hand, another crack is slowly brewing in the bloodline.
Solo is still not pleased that Roman doesn't trust him to defend the tag team titles with Jimmy.
As Roman and Paul leave the locker room to prepare to enter the ring, we see Jay enters the room, approaching Jimmy and Solo.
Jimmy tells Jay to leave before Roman sees him, but Jay refuses.
He tells Solo and Jimmy that Roman has gotten out of control and they need to bring this to the elders.
Jimmy refuses and defends Roman, saying he is doing it for the family.
Jay asks him how long before Roman is taking the Raw title from himself as well. We are here to help Roman make the family become the greatest wrestling family, but it clearly got to his head. He thinks he owns us. He thinks this is all about him. How many times have we helped him to retain his championships? How many times has he helped us? We got nothing but just test after test after test. I'm done. Jimmy is conflicted. He doesn't want to betray his cousins. Solo, on the other hand, is starting to consider Jay's option. Think about what he did to Sami. You think you're safe? As soon as Jimmy hears that, he makes up his mind. So it's about Sami, huh? Jay tries to explain to Jimmy, but he won't listen. Yo, ever since the war game, you've been nothing but Sami this, Sami that, and now you want to betray the family for Sami? I'm your blood, Oos. Roman is your blood, not Sami. He was just, a friend, nothing more. Sami has been there for us every time, Oos. Not Roman, Sami. Without him, we would have lost the championship a long time ago. After hearing that, Jimmy is convinced that Jay is fully gone.
You're not part of the family no more, Jay.
Jimmy walks to the door but realizes Solo isn't following. He looks back and sees Solo staring at the ground. Solo thinks Jay is right. He was sent by the elders to help the family, and Roman has been using Solo to protect himself, let alone robbing him of the chance of holding the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Jimmy understands their position. He knows he cannot do anything to convince them otherwise. He quickly gets out of the locker room and locks Jay and Solo inside. Jay and Solo are stuck inside the locker room. In the ring, Sami at one side and the triple champion Roman at the other side with Paul at his corner. Bell rings, the match begins, and Sami immediately hits Roman with the haluva kick. Roman is stunned. Paul is shocked. Sami, after suffering for months, finally has the chance to let it all out. He doesn't go for the cover. Instead, he takes out all the weapons he can get and beats the living crap out of Roman, but not for long. Jimmy comes down to the ring and saves Roman from Sami's beating. With Jimmy's help, Roman is able to take control and dominate Sami. Then we hear KO's music. KO rushes down to the ring to save his best friend. KO hits a stunner on Jimmy but receives a spear from Roman. Paul gives handcuffs to Roman. Roman wants to cuff Sami to the rope and ready to beat him up like how the Bloodline beat up KO at the Royal Rumble. But Jay and Solo comes down to the ring and stop Roman. Roman is confused and angry. He yells at them, telling them that they listen to him. He is the head of the table, but they don't listen to him anymore. Roman understands now. We see Jimmy hit a crossbody onto Solo and Roman delivers a Superman punch to Jay. Roman turns around and sees Sami runs towards him for another Helluva kick. Roman ducks out of the way. Sami hits the turnbuckle and meets a huge spear as he turns around. Roman once again stands on top. He takes all his titles and walks down the ramp with Paul and Jimmy behind him, leaving Jay, Solo, Sami and KO at the ring. The story between Roman and Sami is yet to be finished, but Roman has a bigger fish to fry: Cody Rhodes. So that's my made up story for the Elimination Chamber main event. It's really hard to do anything when the match is about the championship, but I digress. Cody is still the guy that is going to have the highest chance to take the championship. And thank you for your support on my first video, the Samizayn storyline. You guys are absolutely amazing. So I hope you like this one. Thank you for watching. See you next time.